and we'll talk about Peacemaker because, man, gather the kids around. Fun for the whole family.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm joining the orgy. The Peacemaker orgy.
This is why they kicked you off of X.
Yeah.
I guess it's time. Put it off long enough.
Fuck.
Exactly.
So the
Dicks and balls, baby.
okay, so the DCU, which is the relaunch of DC for, I mean, technically the third time, because after Zack Snyder they tried to Marvelize it a little bit, and then The Rock came in, and then James Gunn came in, and the DCU is now made up of Creature Commandos, Superman, and Peacemaker. Now, Peacemaker, as Paul pointed out in his video, Peacemaker premiered in 2022. So it's been long time, 3 years.
Long time.
Long time. It's now part of the DCU. They have erased the Snyder part of it immediately. They have erased the Snyder part. And now, according to James Gunn, this is the mostest importantest thing to watch as the next chapter of the DCU, right after the very comic booky, child-friendly Superman that families were going to everywhere. So gather around, get the kids, everybody, for some family fun.
And see some schlong.
And see some DCU orgy. See some little schlong, some little fucking sausage. It's Peacemaker gets macked on by a dude.
Yep.
By a dude.
Yep.
The John Cena is just he likes being the little clown, doesn't he?
He loves being a
wants
naked
on, he
Chinese
wants in.
puppet.
Yeah.
He wants into the club.
He can't act, so that's the best.
So let's preface this going, I know what Peacemaker is. I know I watched season 1. I've watched it again, and it's worse than I remember. Peacemaker season 1, I know some people liked it. I did not. I think it wasn't my favorite thing. It was all written and directed by James Gunn, but at least it existed kind of in its own place, and that's where it belongs. It wants to be the DC boys. That's what it wants to be. And that is where James Gunn is most comfortable. And this is proof positive why he was the wrong person to direct Superman, because he is far more comfortable in this. And this wasn't good.
This is his favorite thing that he's done, right? In the DC universe. Not Superman, this movie.
Well, that's probably because he's probably jerking off behind the camera during the orgy scene. Yeah, he loved it.
It's Peacemaker 2 is his like favorite thing. And
Oh my God.
look, if you watch season 1, yes, this is a continuation of that. You shouldn't really be shocked if you watch season 1, what we're seeing in season 2 in terms of the tone and shit. The problem is, it's okay when Peacemaker exists as this little side thing with a bunch of entries into this universe. When it's the direct follow-up to Superman, when it's advertised as the direct follow-up to Superman, when you have so many characters that were in Superman now appearing in this, and the things they say, like what they're involved in, like, that's when it's like, was this really the best way to go about it? And it's going to be one of those things where there are going to be some people that love this shit. Like, they think it's hilarious. They think it's super edgy. They think it's funny. And a lot of people are going to be like, what the fuck is this?
Listen, there's the boys, and it's clear that James Gunn, that's his taste. That's what he likes. He likes Grant Morrison. He likes the edgier part of comic books, right?
But that's fine. The boys
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But The Boys has been done, and again, it's clear that James Gunn is more comfortable here. And as Ryan mentioned, Green Lantern, Max Lord, and Hawkgirl in this. So is Max Lord going to talk about camel toe in the next Superman movie? I mean, are they going to bring that up? Yeah. Are they going to bring up the gay orgy, or like they got black lesbians? They got a girl boss in it who's kicking ass.
Black lesbians.
Oh yeah.
It's got it all, man.
And that's the thing, and that's what I mean when you're like, look, they retconned the end of season 1, and this is one of the big questions that people have: was Peacemaker exists within the structure and canon and continuity of the old DCEU, right? With James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which has carryovers from characters that were in the DCEU, whether that be Suicide Squad, whether it be the Harley Quinn, like all that, right? So you didn't actually reboot the universe. You still have actors and characters and stuff like that around from that initial universe, but you've now retconned that last scene where the Justice League appears, and instead it's the Justice Gang. And instead of the little jokes between Ezra Miller and Aquaman at the end, you have jokes between Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl. And you have Supergirl and Superman there.
Supergirl and Superman.
And Mr. Terrific. And the problem is that one retcon is not enough because, okay, so Rick Flag was in Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad.
Yes.
John Cena killed him in The Suicide Squad, and that continuity still carries over into this. In the same movie where Superman got put in the hospital with a kryptonite bullet from Idris Elba, right? So like these things are all mixed up. And I think that's the least of the concerns. The most to me is just whiplash in tone, and that it's just not. I don't think it's fucking funny.
I get a question. Did anyone laugh a single time watching?
No,
not really. Not really.
No,
truly did not.
It was detestable. The characters are just assholes that you hate, especially that girl boss. I hate her,
Mrs. James Gunn.
Mrs. Gunn. Yeah,
it came off like try hard. It wasn't
Very,
naturally
very
funny, or it was so try hard, edgy stuff.
It was 2012 edgy humor.
No, it wasn't even that. It was hello, fellow edgelords. It was.
Well, no, it was made completely based on the humor from like 15 years ago.
Yeah,
which is basically James Gunn.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's just it's not edgy anymore. It's not really funny. It's not groundbreaking. James Gunn. I was talking to Drinker about this. He's become a caricature of himself at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's that innovative of a filmmaker. I think he was really good with Guardians of the Galaxy, and I've liked a lot of his stuff, but he's degraded now. Superman
was too much.
Yes.
So
I'm confused how he could make something this bad. If he's supposed to be, talented to make Guardians of the Galaxy, how could that guy make something this crap and be unaware of it?
He also planned the MCU. He also helped plan the good MCU.
I was just going to say, I think he's a bit overworked. I mean, he wrote and directed the first episode, and what he went through with Superman, writing and directing that's a huge amount of work. So as with my former network executive hat on, I don't need a lot of inspiration or fantastic newness in a show. I just need the rules to be followed every single episode as if it's Rockford Files or the A-Team. So this, at its basic level, this show didn't even follow network rules. And by that, I mean, there was no B story. What's her name? Amelia just went into a bar and purposely got herself thrashed for some S&M fun, rather than the guy. And so she should have been on a mission as part of a B story, fuck it up because she's fucked up, and then have the meeting with the guy who says you're just too twisted. We can't accept you. Suddenly you have a B story. The same thing could have happened we had so many opportunities for B stories that would show some interior action that would complete within the context of the one episode. This is what drives me nuts with streaming. This is what Murders in the Building do really well. They always have a B or C story that actually completes within that one episode. They do it all the time. They know what they're doing. Here in this case, we got lectured to with Peacemaker in front of the Justice Gang. No, at the very least, they could have said, well, you know what? You're killing too many people all the time, but here's an assignment. Go off and do this. And then he goes to a kindergarten, and there's a guy threatening with guns, and he ends up killing all the kids. And he gets dragged back. Look, you just killed all the kindergarten kids. Like, you're insane. We can't accept you because you're over the top. At least make a story of it. Don't just have them yakking to each other.
And it
so that was my
biggest
problem.
It reverted the character from the end of season one. Like, he had become a hero at the end of season one, and now he's just right back to where he was at the beginning of season one.
You kind of have to find a way to do it, but that would have been the way to do it. Is like they've given him an opening with the work that he did at the end of season one. He now has an option to join the Justice Gang. He fucks it up. That's a small story.
Where did I see a loose cannon hero asked to be on a team and get rejected? Oh yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, that's right.
We just saw the same fucking thing.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a new character and he's got a new spin. But at least don't have it as a lecture. create some action sequence out of it that we can at least enjoy watching. I didn't enjoy the bar fight. I didn't understand the point of it.
Okay, you know what would happen in that bar fight? She would have walked in there, started shit, got hit once, and hit the ground. Exactly. That's exactly what that was. Fucking ridiculous. And the fact that her nose was still in place after getting punched in the face multiple times. It's like, have you ever seen somebody get punched in the face multiple times? Their nose is flat. Okay,
and her teeth.
And her teeth. Yeah.
And look, we know that she's competent, right? We do know that she's competent. It's not like it's just some random girl walking into a bar, right? But it was extra. It was next level. And the reason all of this is still
what was the point of it?
Yes, there's no point of it. And the reason this is all still there, let's just be honest, it's because she's James Gunn's wife.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
That's the reason they didn't want to do a full reboot. That's the reason there's a Peacemaker season 2. In an ideal world, you wipe the slate clean. You actually fucking restart, but you don't want to do that when you got your wife the gig in this thing.
Well, I don't see why you couldn't do that.
That's what I think.
You could totally do that. I feel like you could. If you go, okay, this Peacemaker is the Peacemaker of the old DCEU, and throughout the course of the episode, he goes through the portal, which they do that, and then he ends up in the new DCEU. He has to replace him. But this is not that. It's half the new one because the Justice Gang is there. And then they retconned the ending of the last season to show the Justice Gang.
They had a better thing at the end to retcon the ending. Now,
why?
And it's something they shouldn't have introduced this early, by the way. That's a problem. But at least at the end, like it created an interesting problem. Like at the very end, I'm like, okay, that's at least an interesting problem. Too bad I had to get through a fucking cocaine-fueled orgy for no reason that needs to be there.
With full frontal,
for as long as it went to.
So many penises. Too many penises.
Also,
too many people not in shape too.
But yeah, a lot of ugly fucking people that were running around naked too. Like that is a problem.
Unnecessary.
Like, that is a problem.
Yeah, exactly, Paul.
Paul, do it again.
Do it. No, you, Paul.
But also it brings up questions based on the interactions that we see the Justice Gang have with Superman. In that movie, is it really easy to believe that 6 months prior to this, they were all like there, all just hanging out together, all just showed up at this thing? I don't fucking think
it was a bit too Mystery Man-ish.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
The Mystery Man's
Supergirl is.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
So like the reason it was like that, the Mystery Man-ish stuff appearing, like the reason it was like that at the end of Peacemaker is because they wanted to show that the Justice League is there. So they showed the outlines of Wonder Woman, the outlines of Superman, Henry Cavill's Superman, the outlines of Ben Affleck's Batman, but they only got 2 actors really there, and that was Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. And they have a little interaction, but you see the silhouettes of everybody else.
Yeah.
So they replaced their little conversations with Green Lantern and Hawk Girl, and then just replaced the other things, Mr. Terrific, Superman, and Supergirl. But the other thing, your second entry into the DC universe, the new DC universe, and we're already going multiverse stuff.
Yeah, dude.
I hated the multiverse.
I'm so over the multiverse.
I think Ryan's right with the James. This is what James Gunn loves to do. He really wants to do this show. This show shouldn't exist. It shouldn't exist in the slightest, not because of the fact that he started afresh. We've started the DCU afresh, and we said it ourselves. It said, why is this staying in? Oh, well, it's not actually season 1. It's a different universe so that's why we're going to carry this on. But as we know, he's a Nepo boy. It's a way to get his fucking brother casted. It's a way to get his fucking wife casted and keep them happy. And the big problem for me with this show is not just the fact that it's absolute unmitigated dog shit, but to me, your statement of intent for your DCU is this utter shit. I don't think he's got a fucking clue where he's going. No. I don't think he's got a fucking clue who he's fucking fighting, what's being built up, where they're going with this, what's the big bad, where this 8-year plan is. This is literally piece by piece with a fucking lie, because when James Gunn opens his mouth, he fucking lies. This guy couldn't tell the truth to save his fucking life. This is just an 8-year plan of fuck it.
Well,
we'll throw everything we got.
It's just James Gunn. It's James Gunn being James Gunn. It's irreverent humor. It's where he's comfortable, and this was our concern from the get-go.
Well,
where's the where's the heroism? Where's the basis of heroism? After creature heroism, after Creature Commandos, after this, after Superman, after Peacemaker, what's your foundation? Like where is your earnest hero?
Yep.
I can't follow a character. You can't put a character in front of me and go, oh, you got to like this character because they're the protagonist of the story. It doesn't work. A character has to be fucking likable. Nobody in this show is likable. Not a fucking one of them.
Not at all. Not at all.
That's a problem.
And
it is a huge problem.
You got Frank Grillo as
Rick
Flag Sr. And what are they doing with him? Like he's kind of a dumb shit in it, So he's out for revenge. Yeah, the guy killed his son, but in another universe. So like as Ryan said, how is that going to connect at all?
But
and they're probably going to bring in. They're probably going to bring in, that pocket. They have Superman characters in it. It is directly connected. They mentioned Lex Luthor's. It's the reason they figured out that there was a pocket universe at Peacemaker's place, because they had a detector. And because of the problems from them having opening up another rift, of which they mention in the show, they don't want to open up another dangerous rift. That's why they're keeping it. But also, Flag is just watching him because he killed his kid, and he's out to get revenge. And I watched all the the little post scene where they talk about the production of it and stuff. They did this so Chris Peacemaker can see a world where his dad was cool and his brother was still alive. And then they do a little twist at the end, but
and he's not a loser.
And he's not a loser.
Should have been that should have been the DCU, the new one with the new Superman. That's the world that he stumbles upon in, the one where his dad's good and his brother's still alive, and he kills the good version of himself. That would have been an interesting, which I think that's what they're trying to do. But they did it in this convoluted fucking thing.
Actually, I think it's the bad version of himself.
You think? I mean, he's already a bad guy.
No, he's twisted. If you listen to the dialogue when Cena, the original, whatever he,
which is like, you being in my house, enough reason to shoot you or whatever.
Nobody gives a shit.
But I mean, that's justified.
Cena one goes in, and his brother, who's now alive, and his dad are both kind of going, "Wow, what's happened? Like, what's with you? You're kind of happy. Like, what's going on here?" They give hints that the Cena 1 is actually the happy guy, and Cena 2 is the guy who is out of control.
They do.
Going to what you were saying, Gary, that this is James Gunn being James Gunn. I think like this show revealed all I need to know about James Gunn, where he's unleashed and gets to do everything he wants. And I think like that orgy scene, you don't put that in by accident. That's him putting it in because he gets the key.
He loves that.
He loves that. There was no other point for it apart from some exactly. And holy crap, that tells me everything I need to know.
It's like some kind of a flex. Like he could get that many naked people.
That's what he does in his spare time. I bet you would be, think of injecting that unless he's doing it.
It certainly gets brought up a lot in his work, and
doesn't it?
Like,
I'm sure the kids will love it.
Listen, there's a place.
You just watched.
I think there's a place for like rated R content that can exist in the universe. I'm fine with that, and I think that absolutely should exist. But like, you roll out with an orgy in your first one, and you did it to create conversations, and you did it to be controversial. You also did it because James Gunn did it because he's comfortable there. And again, this tells you exactly why he was the wrong guy for Superman. And all the signs were there in Peacemaker season 1. All the fucking signs were there. If you watch Peacemaker season 1, he pretty much repeats a bunch of shit from fucking the Suicide Squad. Repeats scenes. He repeats himself. He riffs on himself a lot.
It is the second season of Peacemaker. Like nobody that watched season 1 should be surprised or shocked at the tone of season 2.
No.
The problem is where it's positioned, that it's the follow-up to Superman, that it's advertised as the follow-up to Superman, and that they're connecting so many things from Superman to it. That's my problem. And I think that in theory you could have had this, you know, maybe after the Supergirl movie comes out and maybe another show or whatever, you have your Peacemaker season 2, and it can be a side thing. But instead, we have several characters that we were introduced to in this movie that are now important in this, and we're getting reflections of their character and the way that they're acting within this, that it's going to be impossible to ignore once we have like them in another thing with Superman.
This is what the DCU is now. It's not Superman. It's Creature Commandos. It's Peacemaker. It's going to be Supergirl because it's going to be people who are a hot mess, an alcoholic Supergirl, irreverent humor, people who are, you know, sad and conflicted and losers, and we're not going to see the era of gods and fucking monsters, what DC is supposed to be.
What I want. I want Olympian gods, and I want earnest takes on these stories about morality and heroism, and that's not what we're going to
It's not
again.
that.
At the very least, make the shows coherent. I don't care if they don't make sense.
Coherent.
I'm not talking about it. Like, you know, even Peggy, Mannix's secretary, got a story sometimes on his goddamn show, right? So if you're going to give Peggy a B story, like, give me a B story. And like, I agree with everything that you're saying, but from an entertainment perspective, this first episode could have been first up until the final sequence where he's battling himself, which actually I started waking up.
Yeah, the whole big chunk of the first episode, like you said in your review, Paul, it's just a setup. So setup. So there is no beginning, middle, and end to it. And in each episode, even in a streaming series with an overarching plot, has to have a beginning, middle, and end. Game of Thrones always ended on something. Like something crazy, you know, like
usually the 9th episode ended on something crazy.
Well, each episode ended on a high dramatic point, and then the penultimate episode had the crazy shit happen, and it was then the 10th episode was aftermath.
There used to be some kind of structure.
Structure.
But this one did end with him killing himself. Like, it kind of end with a big.
Just introduced him and just killed him. You know, so there was nothing there to really hook in. He was there for like 2 minutes. Oh. The orgy scene, for whatever you want to fuck it, it's just a lame ass hero-gasm from the boys.
It's hero-gasm.
There's nothing original here at all. His wife is having the band. I think he's honestly, Paul, I really think he thinks the stuff with his wife is the B story. That's what I honestly think he thinks that. And then the conversation with her and the therapist, it's not a legitimate conversation. It doesn't feel like a legitimate conversation. It feels like two actors have been told to riff. There might be some ad-libbing. Quick, say cunt. So it's just like, oh, you said that, and it's a shot. And it's just like, there's nothing shocking when you can read what's coming a mile away. None of the jokes landed in the slightest. The only interesting bit about the whole show is when he went into the pocket universe of himself and saw his dad and his brother who had died, and the fact that they were both good stand-up guys and they're like having a drink together, I'll see you in the morning business. So you kind of like, okay, what's going on here? And then, you know, if you're in this pocket universe, there's going to be a pocket you, because they know you, they're referencing you, so you clearly fucking exist there in that house.
And none of it was a surprise because they showed it in the trailer. They showed it all in the fucking trailer.
But he's never showing it himself. He's never even intimating, like, right, where am I? What am I doing right now? How do I?
Well, they say Bloodhaven, right?
Yes.
But Blood.
Like, aren't you supposed to be in Bloodhaven?
They say Bloodhaven.
Bloodhaven is Bloodhaven.
Blood.
It's Bloodhaven. Get the fuck out of here.
Bloodhaven.
It does have the little thing on it, I suppose, but I have always said Bloodhaven, and in basically every human being I have Bloodhaven. Yeah. So
every customer I had in the comic store called it Bloodhaven, like
because it is Bloodhaven.
And every time we heard it, like I guess I haven't watched every single piece of DC material in history. But all the times I can remember, from animated to live action, they've said Bloodhaven.
Bloodhaven, and yes.
So it like And it also just sounds cooler.
It sounds better.
If it's in Germany, I imagine they'll pronounce it Bloodhaven or whatever. But it's America, and Americans do what Americans do: dub it down. So it's Bloodhaven.
Simplify it, make it, perfect it.
Sounds better, doesn't it?
Would have been amazing.
Take out the unnecessary U's.
We stole your football, made it better.
By the way,
we stole your baseball, made it better. Okay.
The opening credits.
We microwave tea, and it's still better than any of your tea.
Shut up about microwave fucking tea.
No.
We threw all that tea in Harvard.
The opening credits to this show are a fucking war crime. A fucking breach of the Geneva Convention. I have never seen anything so fucking embarrassing.
I bet all the people that cry bloody murder at Sydney Sweeney showing her, cleavage and stuff like that, or that there's how dare they put attractive, women in video games, everything like that. I bet they all loved the orgies. Shad,
I already have the gun bro reply guys. And in my tweet, I just said, hey, get the kids, everybody. We're going to have, there's an orgy, and it's like, I have to, hey, reply guys, if you're out there watching, maybe you should ask Grok what I meant by my tweet. Maybe you should just ask.
DEI orgy. They're never that diverse. I've heard.
It was. Sorry to explain the joke, but it's exactly how James Gunn framed how you should watch Peacemaker. Now, I don't think he actually. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to get in James Gunn's head because I don't want to be there. But you're following up the very kid-friendly thing with this hard-rated R, uber-violent, orgy-filled fucking HBO show as your next thing. It shows that it's fucking incoherent. And as Paul said, just give me a path, right? And right now the path is clear, and it's because I've been into comic books my whole life. I know the kind of comic book customer James Gunn was, and he was the one who basically was a superhero fan when he was a little kid, got into college, thought he was all edgy, and then they start pretty much liking all the Image and Warren Ellis and fucking Grant Morrison shit, which is great. Going into Vertigo means you're just not getting into. That means you're not into superheroes anymore. It's the same thing with Deadpool. The joke gets fucking old because it's basically a parody of superheroes at this point because you're tired of it. And I saw customers just cycle through all the time, and they were just at some point it's like maybe you just don't like superheroes anymore. Why don't you try a Western comic or something like that, try because you're just not into it anymore. And he's just not that into Superman and heroism. Again, he's not the kind of guy who's going to put a fucking American flag in front of his house on 4th of July, much less any other day. In Peacemaker season 1, he fucking clowns America. The whole fucking show is clowning America and MAGA and toxic masculinity and everybody's a Republican's a white supremacist, and that's where he comes from. I heard fucking people saying James Gunn was sneaking in MAGA themes into Superman. You're high. What? Okay. You're fucking high.
Insane.
That is insane.
That's what happens when you view every single thing through a political lens.
I know. I think there's so much with the Gun Bros. I think there's so much of reaction and just resentment towards the Snyder Bros that they just want. They're at each other's throats, and this is gonna go on for years, guys. This is not gonna stop. It's going to get worse, especially when the final numbers come in for Superman when it officially does not do better than the Man of Steel without adjusting for inflation. James Gunn's never gonna hear the end of it, and it's gonna go back and forth. And those of us who just like watched Superman and really wanted it to be good, and it wasn't, and see the direction we're going. The warning signs were there, as just mentioned one. His second movie was going to be The Authority. Who are the two main characters in The Authority, as?
Gay Superman and gay Batman.
Yep.
Who are married.
Gay bathhouses.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that would be your second movie.
Before the Justice League, you would have a basically an anti-Justice League, a boys. And it would have turned into.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
Hyper-violent.
That again, that's everything that happened in the mid 2000s. All the bad Superman, all the bad Justice Leagues, or the irreverent loose cannon Justice Leagues. That was a very popular trend, and a lot of it was good at the time. but it's
I'm so fucking over the shit
but no,
now.
everybody's over deconstructing the superhero. Like we are fucking
Gary,
over it.
They injected some of the authority kind of concepts into Superman.
Yes,
in the
they did.
authority comic books.
Yes, they did.
They go to another country and just kill the leader of that country.
Yep.
Because they're just bad people. And look what they do at the end of
James
Superman.
Gunn said they incorporated some of the authority stuff in other movies, and they clearly did in Superman. 100%. You're right.
It comes from the core of not respecting comic books and thinking that they're cringe and stupid.
Well, it's also thinking the hero is stupid and it's old-fashioned and it's silly, and that's why it continuously gets even freaking Grant Morrison and Alan Moore have said, listen, I did my work, I deconstructed, but that's not what it was. That's not what DC is supposed to be. Even that commie wizard thinks that people have gone too far with it. And you know, they've just been remaking The Watchmen over and over. That's all the fucking boys is. It's all this, you know, all this stuff is. And it's been done to death. And we were hoping, hey, maybe James Gunn would figure it out and reconstruct the hero. And we got that punk rock is the new kindness, unless you say you don't like Superman's James Gunn, and then you'll see all the kindness from the Gunn Bros.
There is nothing punk rock about anything that he's fucking done.
I just want to reiterate, like that. There he is.
Peacemaker.
Yeah, it's accurate.
I just want to reiterate the hypocrisy, right? That Peacemaker demonstrates, where there is a side of the ideological spectrum that will friggin' celebrate this gay orgy thing to the moon, right? They'll celebrate the most sexually degenerate, perverted stuff. But do you see the outcry they had to Stella Blade when you had a conventionally attractive woman wearing just skimpy clothing, and they'll say, "How dare you sexualize women suddenly," and stuff like that? They're the biggest hypocrites under the planet. These people, as long as it's like weird kink stuff, then they're on board. But if it somehow promotes normal heterosexual attraction, then it's evil.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the problem they have is with normalcy.
Yep.
Yeah, you needed a traditional approach with Superman, and I think James Gunn attempted it. I just don't think he knows how. I don't think he knows how.
Traditional's a dirty word to them.
Yes.
Yep.
And
because
Superman,
to them, it kind of symbolizes more conservative values, and therefore I must be anti this, I must be anti-family, I must be anti heterosexuality, I must be anti this, everything else must be.
In German, Hitler said traditional once, so obviously it's we're all Nazis.
And he drank water, the twat.
No. If anything is demonstrated, James Gunn is like the worst guy to handle traditional heroism and everything like that. Yeah. Peacemaker episode 1 of season 2 has shown all of that to me. Like I've basically lost all faith in this guy.
Even if you take like the orgy scene out, which just sticks out like a small penis,
sticks out like a micro.
It's not as Paul said, it's just not a good episode.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
At least season 1, there was like some structure in there, you know. Like there's no structure here. And again, they introduced pocket universes, but they just decided to erase, like really lazily and in kind of a funny way, they erased the Snyderverse in the previously on, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that. They redid the previously on, so it wasn't even in the show. It was like
they retconned it.
Season 1 is the same. I went back and watched the last episode of season 1 just to confirm it's exactly the same.
They didn't change it in season 1. They just changed the previously on. So previously on Peacemaker, and they shot new scenes.
So why? They didn't say previously on Peacemaker. They said previously in the DCU.
No, they did. That's right. That's right.
Previously in the DCU.
Even though it wasn't the DCU then. Yeah.
I love how they opened the show with fucking Superman, too. Like, they got Superman. It's like DCU. It's, oh, boy. Orgy time.
Season 1, the best part was the relationship between Peacemaker and his dad.
Yep.
Because it was just so wonderfully
Robert
fun.
Patrick is a legend.
It was the two of them, and the costumes were so bad. It was hilarious. I mean, I was laughing all the way through.
I liked Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad. I think he worked really well in that ensemble piece, and I think he works really well as in that ensemble. I don't like the Peacemaker ensemble at all. I don't like the crew.
It's because then you get like Peacemaker worked good in the group. Right. Yes. And then the little one-liners and his personality, like I think it works well in the Suicide Squad.
There was balance.
When he is now the main guy, and you have this lower tier of surrounding cast and crews, fat, annoying black woman, fat nerd, like James Gunn's wife. And it just didn't work. I didn't like season 1. Not for me.
The stuff with his dad was hilarious.
It should have been all that. I mean, if that, I would have been fine. But introducing the multiverse already, especially when you're like, we're going to do everything different for Marvel, and maybe they don't like go into it, but like, let's be real, DC is far more multiverse than Marvel, even Marvel. Well, they're the ones who reset their canon all the time.
It wasn't even that did it. It was like so matter of fact as well, because like it was not really that big of a thing in the first season, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is now opening up the whole multiverse thing, and then it was like, oh, that's just a thing now.
I'm surprised they didn't.
Why wouldn't they have known about it?
They said
already?
99 doors. I'm surprised they didn't do 52 doors.
And why is eagerly finding the right door?
I don't know. Oh, look, and there's another silly pet flying around.
Yep, there it is again. There it is again.
Look, can we just briefly talk about the worst conversation that this episode had? The two guys outside of the
oh my god,
the burger joint.
Jesus Christ!
What
the owl shit?
Yeah,
was that?
Vigilante,
yeah.
And the manager coming out,
and
like
just the conversation, but the whole thing was just like, why is that? How the fuck has this even made it into the show?
It's irreverent humor.
None of the dialogue landed. None of the jokes landed. None of it felt real. It just felt like, guys, just say stuff.
LOL, so random.
Yeah.
Kind of like it was the same kind of joke as the stupid broken intercom. Like, I'm sure everyone thought that's going to be hilarious, and that didn't land.
It was fucking dumb.
Again, there was a lot of talk and not action. Assassin should have seen him in the restaurant fucking up. Like, why are they talking about it? Show me the action of him not capable of dealing with this job because he's not a well human being. That's what I would have wanted to
slice in somebody's fucking hand or something. Just something.
They could have had a whole episode of him trying to be the upstanding kind of noble superhero thing and constantly screwing up and accidentally murdering people along the way, and that would have been interesting. I would have found that kind of, especially if they made it comedic ways, that he's screwing up and accidentally killing people, not meaning to, but is falling into his old habits. There's something there.
But what if he had an orgy and you saw a lot of dongs?
Well, the funny thing about it is that this is the same guy who did Super, where you basically have a lot of that stuff you're talking about. It's like, just adapt that shit into the show.
Yeah, I definitely got the vibe that he kind of like took some stuff from Super and just stuck it back in, stuck it in this show instead.
That was good. That was good.
I did like the bag of cocaine that was like for emergency only.
It said for a rainy day.
For a rainy day, something like that. Yeah, that
dude, no coke addict would have coke for a rainy day. Okay, tell you what.
It's probably from James Gunn's house, in all fairness.
As you talk about stuff from Super, like all of his stuff is self-referential.
Yeah.
He's just copying himself in so many things. So Peacemaker,
copying himself, copying other people. I didn't see anything original.
Off to an awesome start, everybody. Superman
lost money, and Peacemaker is dog shit.
And I wanted it to be good. I was rooting for it. I wanted this all to be good. And it's just not.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.